Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome if you're new. I'm Cheryl, this is Table Full of Joy. And friends, we are still in our holiday series. We are still in Thanksgiving mode. And today I'm sharing 3 recipes with you guys that were popular in our house growing up. These were things that my grandmother made after Thanksgiving. So when you have all the leftovers, what do you do with those? Here's 3 things that my grandmother used to make. There's a reason she made each one of them. They're incredible. Super excited. I've never made these for my husband, so he's excited to get to try these tonight. So we're gonna make, first, we're gonna make some biscuits. These biscuits need to go in the freezer for 15 minutes before we bake them, so they get nice and cold. It really helps them to get a good lift and a really good rise on them. So we're gonna get those going so they can be in the freezer getting cold while we are going on with the next 2 recipes. So all of these are super, super easy, and I will explain what we did with each one of these recipes as we get into making each one of them. None of them are hard. Like everything else I've showed you guys throughout this entire series so far, everything is super easy because everybody makes Thanksgiving so complicated. It does not need to be complicated. It does not need to be hard. You can have delicious food, super easy, super simple, minimal ingredients, unless you are that kind of person that wants to go over the top. I do it every now and then, but you know what, friends? Thanksgiving is about spending time with family. And the last thing I want to do is be tied down to the kitchen for hours and hours and hours while the rest of my family is having fun and getting to hang out, and I'm stuck in the kitchen doing everything. I like to have some fun, easy things that I can do that don't take a lot of time. So let's get our biscuits made because we need to get these in the freezer, and then I have 2 more fun recipes to show you. So these are a maple bacon biscuit, and they are absolutely incredible. My grandmother used to make these, and she would put these out on the day after Thanksgiving. We'd put these out for just snacking on, all of that kinds of thing. And they are amazing. You know how you have all those little leftover pieces of cheese from the cheese trays and all that kind of stuff? We make small biscuits for that specific reason. So we're gonna start off with 2 teaspoons of baking powder in here. I wanna get all of my dry stuff put in here so that we can do the rest of the other things that need to go in this. We're gonna do a half a tea. I'm only making a half a recipe. I should have told you that in the beginning. I'm only making a half a recipe because it's just my husband and I, and we don't need all of that. So I'm gonna do a half a teaspoon of baking soda. That's basically, you know, 1/2 of what the recipe calls for. We're gonna put in a little bit of salt. I'm not gonna go super heavy on the salt because we are putting bacon in these, we're putting cheese in these, and all of those things have got lots and lots and lots of salt in them. We're gonna grate in, the recipe calls for quite a bit of cheese. I'm only cutting it in half, and I'm gonna do small grate on these, on the cheese, because I want little bits of cheese all the way through my biscuit. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this entire chunk. This is not a very big chunk of cheese, so I'm not worried about that too much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grate this. The other thing is we're gonna grate our butter into this biscuit dough. I don't wanna stand here with my pastry blender and try cutting the butter into the dough, into the flour. That's the last thing I wanna do today. So I'm gonna just use my grater. I'm gonna use the big side on my box grater, and that's what I'm gonna use to incorporate my butter into my biscuit dough so that I don't have to stand here forever and grate and mix in butter. This is a great tip if you're making biscuits and you don't want to have to stand here forever and cut in butter into your flour for your biscuit dough. Friends, get your box grater out and use that. Your box grater is your friend. We need 6 tablespoons of butter. It actually calls for 3/4 of a cup of butter, and since I'm only doing a half a recipe, I converted it down to tablespoons, and I need 6 tablespoons to equal that 3/4, my portion of the 3/4 of the cup. All right, before I start cutting in my butter into my flour, I'm gonna go ahead and get my bacon chopped up. And you want your bacon not super, super small, but you want it small-ish. I'm gonna use my scissors. This is some bacon that I had cooked the other night for something else, and I just stuck it in the microwave. This recipe calls for 8 slices of cooked bacon. So I'm just going to use the last 4 pieces that I have of this cooked bacon. I'm just going to use my scissors to make it super easy on myself. I mean, it's the holidays, friends. We have to make things easy. So what I was telling you earlier, or a couple minutes ago, this bacon is hot. You know, we all put out the meat and cheese trays for Thanksgiving, for munching, snacking, all the things while people are watching football and watching the Macy's parade and all the things. You always end up having a ton of that cheese left over and the meat left over and all the things. So we would make these biscuits and we would put these in the oven Friday morning. Sometimes it would be Saturday, just depending on what day she wanted to make them. And we would make small biscuits, little biscuits, so that you can use all of those little pieces of cheese that are stuck on your meat and cheese board after the holiday. Because you never know what to do with those things. So we make the little biscuits, and then we can put these out with that. You can put it out with, you know, some more bacon if people want to make a little bacon biscuit. You can make some scrambled eggs. You can do, you know, all kinds of different types of things on these biscuits. I think we're going to actually have one extra piece. I'm going to go ahead and just put it in. I'm not going to worry too much about it being a little too bacony because, let's face it, friends, there's never too much bacon. All right, got my fork. I'm just going to use my fork to just incorporate my bacon and my cheese and my butter and all of those things into this. And I'm just going to use the back of my fork to kind of cut that butter into my biscuit dough or into my flour to make biscuit dough, because I want this flour to be kind of clumpy. Like I said, this is a super easy ingredient. These are absolutely delicious biscuits. I've never made this specific biscuit recipe for my husband, so he's super excited to get to try these tonight. I have a feeling that he's going to love these so much that they're going to become a staple in our house. All right, now we're going to move on to our buttermilk. We've got buttermilk here. Since I'm only doing half of this recipe, I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of maple syrup into our buttermilk. I'm going to put another tablespoon of maple syrup into my melted butter that we're going to brush on our biscuits. All right, let's go ahead and put our buttermilk with our maple syrup in here. Make sure we get all of that out. And I'll be able to gauge here in a minute if I need to add a little bit of extra buttermilk to this if it's not the right consistency for me. I tend to like my biscuit dough a little bit on the wetter side than the dry side. So if I need to add a little bit more buttermilk to this, I will. But I don't want to add any to it until I have gotten this mixed in most of the way, so I can tell if I actually do need more buttermilk or if I've just got a wet pocket that I've missed. Yeah, I think I am going to add just a splash, just a tiny bit of our buttermilk. I'm going to add just a little bit. That's maybe another extra tablespoon. And this is the hardest recipe that we're going to make today. Everything else is super easy. I'm just going to use my fingers to kind of mash this in here a little bit, see if I can get it packed down just a little bit more before I dump it on my board. All right, let's get this out of our bowl. All right, we're just going to kind of knead this. Not a lot. I don't want to overwork these. I want them to be nice and flaky and tender, but I do want to make sure that I get everything mixed in. I'm not gonna roll this out. I'm just gonna use my hands to press it out. And like I said, you can cut these biscuits any size you want to. I'm actually gonna cut them pretty small because I want some little biscuits. All right, so I'm using my small-ish biscuit cutter. We're just gonna put these on our cookie rack or cookie tray lined with parchment. Can hear that bacon crunch when you cut through it. Almost there, friends. There's nothing better than fresh biscuits. And I think this last one, I'm just gonna freeform it. You always end up with that one biscuit that doesn't look like the rest. I'll use my biscuit cutter to kind of help me shape that. All right, these are gonna go in the freezer for 15 minutes. And our second recipe is, these are stuffing balls, but they are turkey cranberry stuffing balls. And we're gonna use our leftover stuffing we had leftover from a couple of nights ago. We made a stuffing green bean casserole. If you guys missed that, I'll leave a link in the description box, but I'll put all of these recipes or all of these videos in a playlist for you guys. It'll be titled Thanksgiving 2024. So if you want to go find these, super easy, it'll be right there in that playlist. So let's get these made. They're super easy, but they are so delicious. So delicious. So in our mixing bowl that we've got here, that we have our, I'm gonna go ahead and put our, I just washed this bowl. It's got water on it. So we're gonna put in our stuffing to just kind of break this up a little bit, get it kind of lightened up just a little bit. These are so delicious. So my grandmother would do these on usually Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving. Guys are watching football, you know, you're wanting some delicious snacks. You've got so many leftovers always. The last thing you want to do is go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of stuff. So my grandmother would do these stuffing balls, and they are so incredible. She always had leftover gravy. I do not have leftover gravy, so I'm going to use a packet of turkey gravy, but I also have some, what did I do with it? Here it is. I have a little bit of turkey stock left over from when I cooked this turkey a couple of nights ago. So we're going to use that stock, and we're going to use that turkey packet, or the turkey gravy packet, to make these balls and to still give us a little bit of that gravy to bring back all of those memories from when I was a kid. I'm going to put in just a few more. We're going to put in a little bit of turkey. I have the rest of a turkey breast that I got from Trader Joe's. This is a brined, bone-on turkey breast. And I'm just going to pull off some of this. And I'm not going to chop this. I'm just going to take it in my fingers and I'm going to shred it into pieces, because we're going to put an egg in here to act as a binder for our balls. We're going to bake these. You can fry these if you want to. You can pan fry them. You can deep fry them. Whatever you want to do. I'm just going to put them in the oven because my biscuits are going to be in there already. And I'm not going to dirty up a bunch of dishes. So we're just going to go with the oven because it's already there. This was delicious turkey. If you've never had the turkey from Trader Joe's, it's their bone-in, brined, fully cooked, garlic herb butter was what this turkey was, and it was delicious. Super moist, super tender. But you can see there isn't a lot of ingredients, but you're just doing something different with the turkey and something different with the stuffing. I'm not going to put a ton. I'll put just a little bit more turkey in here. My husband's going to be so excited to have these turkey balls tonight, with a little bit of gravy, and he'll have a biscuit. We have some leftover mac and cheese from last night. We did my grandmother's mac and cheese recipe. We also did her Waldorf salad, and so that's going to be delicious to have on the side with these. We're just doing a bunch of Thanksgiving stuff. So we're gonna get an egg. We're gonna put an egg in here just to give us a little bit of a binder to kind of bind these stuffing balls together. I think 1 egg should do it. I'm not gonna use any salt in this because I used a stovetop stuffing and that's got plenty of salt already. I don't need to add any more. So we're just gonna use our egg to give us a little bit of moisture. We'll see if we need another one or if we are good with just the one. Want to get that egg all the way mixed in before I make that decision though. It smells like Thanksgiving in this house right now. All right, let's see if these balls will hold together or if I need another egg in here. Just use your hands to kind of compact it down together. I think that's going to be good. I think that 1 egg is plenty. You have to work it a little bit because it's stuffing, so you need to mash it a little bit with your hand to kind of get that moisture out of the stuffing, get that egg mixed in there. So if you want to give yourself a little bit of a break after being in the kitchen all day on Thursday, making a big Thanksgiving dinner, and you want to do something, make these. Instead of putting all of your leftover stuff away and then having to get it back out while you've got it out on Thanksgiving night, make up a batch of these stuffing balls and have them ready to just go in the oven the next day and they're ready for football. Last thing we're gonna make is some maple apple cider carrots. You guys have heard me talk about my grandfather. My grandfather was not a veggie guy. He was not a veggie guy, but he loved carrots if they were sweetened. They had to be sweetened a little bit. That's where I learned to eat sweeter carrots, is from him. So I've got some fresh carrots from the farm. I just took the tops off of them, trimming off the ends. I'm not making a huge batch of these. Just like I told you guys earlier, it's just my husband and I. We don't need big batches of anything right now. So you want to cut these into carrot coins, as thick as you want to make them. All right, friends, I just pulled our biscuits out of the freezer. We're going to put these in the oven. And right next to them, we're going to put our stuffing balls. And now we're going to get started on our carrots. Super easy recipe. Minimal ingredients, which I love because during the holiday season, nobody wants a lot of complicated stuff. At least I don't want a lot of complicated stuff. So we're gonna do our carrots really quick, get those on the stove, get those cooking, and then those can be transferred to a bowl to stay warm, and then we can get our gravy done. And friends, that all of these recipes are done. That's how fast these went together. And the amount of time that our carrots, or excuse me, that our biscuits and our stuffing's gonna take to cook, our carrots are gonna get done. We can make our gravy super quick, and we're gonna be able to have this delicious stuff sitting there ready for football, ready for whatever you wanna serve it for. So I've got my carrots that I cut into coins right here. I'm gonna put just a little bit of butter. Like I said, I'm not doing a full recipe, so I'm not putting in the full amount of the ingredients. I know what this recipe is supposed to taste like, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. We're gonna put a little bit of apple cider in. That's what makes these apple cider carrots. A little bit of apple cider. We're going to put in a little bit of maple syrup. About that much. We're going to put in a little bit of salt. Now this calls for, it calls for an herb. I don't have the herbs. I never have those herbs, and I've never used them in this recipe ever. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. You can buy the herb if you want to, or if you have it in your house, by all means use it. We always just went super simple with this recipe. I'm gonna leave it just like this. It's gonna go on the stove. It's gonna cook until our carrots are nice and tender, and all of this liquid down here has been absorbed and turned into a delicious and beautiful glaze. Hey friends, look at these biscuits. Are these not absolutely beautiful, beautiful biscuits? Oh my word. Bacon, maple, cheese. Yes, please. I'm melting a little bit of butter in the microwave because we are gonna brush some butter on these biscuits with a tiny drop of maple syrup. Got my butter, put just a little bit of a drop of maple syrup in here. I'm gonna stir that up with my brush. Get it nice and stirred, nice and mixed up. And then we're just gonna brush this right on top of our biscuits. Oh my word, friends. Buttery, sweet from the maple, salty from the bacon. Could there be anything more perfect? And I'm telling you right now, friends, these with a little bit of leftover turkey and some cranberry sauce, yes, please. Put these out day after Thanksgiving while everybody is watching football with a little bit of your leftover turkey and some cranberry sauce, some sliced cheese left from your meat and cheese tray or whatever. This is perfect. The other thing, these are perfect for breakfast. If you want to do these with a little bit of eggs, it's incredible. The flavor combination is amazing. We're going to set these aside real quick. We've got our glazed carrots. Now it calls for chives. I don't have any fresh chives right now. I forgot to get them at the store. I'm going to finish them with just a tiny, tiny bit of sea salt, fleur de sel, just for that little bit of a salty crunch with that sweet from our maple syrup and our apple cider on here. Just a little bit. Oh my word, friends. And then along with our carrots, we have our beautiful stuffing balls. Look at these. Look at those. You see all your cranberries in there, your turkey. We had a little bit of gravy. We're gonna make us a little plate. I don't want to eat a ton, but I do want to taste these for you. I'm gonna put a stuffing bowl on here, just a couple of carrots. I don't want to eat a ton of this. Like I said, friends, hubby's gonna be home here very soon and he's gonna want to eat with me, so I don't want to go too far, but I do want to sample a little bit because this all looks incredible. And friends, I want just a little bit of gravy on this. Oh my word. All right, let's taste our carrots first. They still have a little bit of a crunch, which is how I like my carrots. If you want them cooked a little more, by all means, cook them the way you like them. Our stuffing ball with our turkey. What could be wrong with that? Oh my word. That is so good. Look at the layers. The flaky layers on that biscuit. We're just gonna pull it apart. Look at that, friends. Look at that biscuit. Okay, friends, let's give this a taste. Okay, friends. I was just transported back to my grandmother's kitchen. I am in my grandmother's kitchen. That is so good. My grandfather loved all of these things. These biscuits were incredible the day after Thanksgiving. Super tasty way to use up, like I said, the cheese tray you have left over from Thanksgiving. Make some eggs. If you want something different, make some eggs and serve these with some eggs. They're incredible. However you want to make them, just make them. They're that good. They are so tasty. The carrots are fantastic. Finish them with chives. Finish them with parsley. Finish them with whatever you want. They are so, so good. And the stuffing balls, what can you say? If your stuffing is super good, these stuffing balls are going to be incredible. That little bit of cranberry, that leftover turkey, add a little bit of your leftover turkey gravy. And friends, they're amazing. They're absolutely, absolutely amazing. So friends, thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen as we continue our series for holidays and Thanksgiving, all the things Thanksgiving for now, between now and Thanksgiving. Just tons and tons of recipes to share with you guys. We've got some really fun things coming up, so you don't want to miss those. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button up there. I would love to have you a part of our YouTube family. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when we upload. That way you don't miss out on any of the fun or any of the incredible recipes we're going to share. Friends, we're trying really hard to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it would mean so much to me if you guys would share my channel with your friends and family and encourage them to come check out what we're doing. Encourage them to subscribe and join our family here so we can all hang out together. We can try some good food together. We can cook some incredible food together. We can share some fun memories together. And friends, it does mean so much to me that you guys take time out of your day, because I know your time is valuable. It means a lot to me that you do take that little bit of time to sit down and watch my videos. Comment. I love all the comments. I love all the thumbs up. Those mean the world to me. So friends, thank you guys again so much for taking your time to come and hang out with me. It means the world to me. Friends, we'll talk to you guys in the comments. Have a great day, and God bless.